Yeah. By the way, I lost my luggage in Singapore, so I only have a few clothes. Yeah, that's a story for another day. Hello and welcome to Nation Fan TV. This is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs Football Club. If you're joining us for the first time, I start the conversation here and it continues on the comment section. So do make sure to leave a comment. Ungitshele ukuthi what you think about the things that I'll be talking about. And today, what I want to first talk about is indaba Eric Mathoho. So apparently, he's being offered to Swallows FC. Now, value, I think we've established this. Mathoho will not be playing for the Chiefs under Uzwane. I mean, if a player like Kone is not playing under Uzwane, probably because of his age, because quality-wise, he's better than Vuma and Peterson. So I don't think then Mathoho would then play, because the only reason I think Kuna is not playing is because of his age. And with regards to Mathoho leaving, he was never going to play. And as I said earlier, over a month ago, he was apparently going to be involved in a swap deal for Mashiane, but now not for Mashiane, from giving him Simang with TS Galaxy. Now that did not happen, obviously, and I wonder how are we offering Ulokunja Swallows? Is it like free transfer? Like it can't be free transfer. With how much money will Swallows pay? Because we know Swallows has their problems in terms of finances, and I don't think they'll be paying much money for Mato, especially at his old age. I know some of these teams like Amazulu, like in the other seasons, they were bringing in players with experience, but I don't think they would really pay much for Mathoho. But we'll see. Maybe he might end up being loaned out, and then Swallows to pay the other portion of his salary, and then Chiefs will still pay some of the salary. But in that way, it would be lowering wage bill, because I think it goes back to what I was saying. I have a strong belief Yoguti Chiefs doesn't have money because now it's like we're scrambling last minute and trying to find some money to feed someone else and salary wage, because salary bill, whatever. Because Bavet, masiba realistic ne ukuthi Chiefs had all this time to sign players, but they did not sign them. And I said this yesterday. It's either Banamali or Mafunu spending money. And I've watched and I've read your comments in Kulma Chiefs has sponsors and they pump a lot of money into the club. Sure, they do have money. But in Kumbule, we are coming from COVID, and we did have that FIFA ban, which means we were not buying players. But in the Chiefs, it's not just buying players, but it's also the amount of salaries we spend on players. So if you're looking at a player like Udoli Maktua, he's getting 1.4 million. In a year, how much is that? That is like 16 million on Udoli alone, on his salary per year. And then Ukama as well, 20 million now, 12 million on Ukama. So that means on 2 players per year, you are paying 28 million. So now that were released were on higher salaries. So I think we shouldn't just look at Toyota, Vodacom. Yes, they are there, but there's a lot of money that's also being spent on wages. So that is why I think Mathoho, they're trying to move him on so that they can open a space for other people and to be able to pay them as well. And the next thing, guys, I saw this thing about it wasn't a case of mistaken identity when Ukwinika got a yellow card on Saturday, it was Saturday against the Sundowns. I'm like, really? But it wasn't a matter of mistaken identity, but it was a dissent. So basically they're saying Ukwinika said something to ref. But masibuka leya video leya, that video ekhombisa ureferee eyonikeza Ukwinika yellow card, ushaya impempe and he starts running. And when he starts running, vele say ukhipha card. And at the time, Ukwinika usuke engakaphenduki nakuphenduka. By the time ephenduka vele sebemfaka icard. Manje my question is, usuke sekhulume nini Ukwinika in that video? Angiboni umuntu ekhuluma mina lapha, but then apparently it was 40 Cent. Maybe they made a mistake and then we move on, because this thing yokuloku business cover up about izinto, I don't believe it. It's possible it's true to Kwenika said something, but the timing from the videos that we've seen, it doesn't look like it's the case. And this might not have been like a big thing that led to maybe a red card or a Chiefs conceding a goal. Yeah, a penalty was a penalty, but there's been some decisions that have gone against us, and vele nje kuphele kanjalo, because manje kunika usene card that was probably not necessary, and then masithole yellow card is forced to suspend, and then the next game is against the Sundowns. Now that means because of a yellow card that should have never been there in the first place, umdlalo wethu angagcina suspendiwe nje. These things ziyangicasula mina, because referee benza umathanda wabo, and there's not really indlela yokuba keep accountable, bavele nje basho some nonsense and then they get away with it. If you're enjoying this video, please do subscribe. Let's talk about Baxter, Stuart Baxter. He says when he got sick in December last year, yeah, and then Uzwane took the club for that match against the Royal AM. Says he realized there were agendas going on. Says there were conspiracies. Well, it's basically what he's saying, right? There were agendas. Chiefs, they were trying to get him out. They were trying to do things a certain way. Clash and Kaizer Junior. Wabona ukuthi vele bengeka. But Baxter, let me say this in English because it's English. Stuart Baxter, if somehow you happen to watch this video, you got fired, mate, because you're underperforming. That's it. Enzwane was a better coach. Honestly, the man was busy playing abadlali underperforming. He was busy playing center back pairing of Cardoso and Mathoho. Week in, week out, those guys were underperforming. They were costing us matches. The guy was given in GFC, and then a team that had been playing in 3-4-3, 3-5-2 the entire season and reaching the Champions League finals. And then he thought he can take a team that has been playing a different system and play 4-3-3 Ngabo in the final Champions League. What was it thinking? It just showed from there what judgment. Yeah, okay, it just sucks. It's ridiculous. How can you change a system maybe sebenza for the team for the entire season for one match when Zoishinja match, you know what? From there, he made the wrong decision, and he continued when the new season started, selecting abadlali underperformer, insisting on playing older and aging players abengenalutho in their tank, benching umdlali who was the best performing player yethu uNgcobo uNkosini in the previous season, also benching uNjabulo Ngcobo who was the defender of the season the previous season in his category Swallows, and saying he's not the best defender we have. How can a player who was the best defender in the entire league be not the best defender at Kaizer Chiefs? He made all these blunders, so I don't understand mayise qhamuka manje esezoblame like Kaizer Mtaung Junior, esezoblame Kaizer Mtaung Senior. It just doesn't make sense. Umuntu aka accept ukuthi yena he didn't get things right, and because of that he got fired. Yeah, they had all the players and the only coach that I can almost excuse Hunt, at least he got us to the finals of or close enough to the finals of the Champions League, and then Zwane did the rest. But Hunt at least some niggas excuse city. Okay, Gavin, when you came, when the players were banned, the transfer ban, and also we know if you don't have a squad depth, your team tends to suffer in the domestic league because you are busy, you are so focused on the Champions League. We saw it with Amazulu, and then they ended up firing Uben. But Baxter had no excuse. He really doesn't have an excuse of why he was underperforming so much. Yeah, sure, he would have finished second, but then that would have masked the bigger problem. Yokuti, who was just not playing good football. And as Kaizer Chiefs fans, we don't just want to see our team win, we want to see our team dominate. So ngelento yakhe ukuthi zoloku esho there were agendas against him, guys, he just flopped, and he should just accept it. And guys, another player who might be going to Swallows, rightfully so, is Happy Mashiane. Now bekunini video lengafunanga ukuyibuka anihambe noyibuka nansi la ngazifika ngizoyilink up here. When I was talking about left back, so good. Mashiane is not used as a left back Chiefs by Uzwane, and because he's not being used as a left back Chiefs, he also is not being used as a right winger because his schemes got there. So, and I think the second alternative to him would be Sehota on the right wing. Even Solomons can be an alternative there, which means Mashiane really doesn't have a place with Chiefs. And I think it would be maybe a good move for him to go to Swallows and kind of try and prove himself, because I don't see where he would play, because manje agna space sack honestly right now. And I think that initial which as fans we should stop this thing of turning against our own players. Finally wins a mistake with on red card Champions League final, and because of that a lot was said about him and the confidence yake got knocked. I mean, I am ready to Mashiane highly, I rate him highly, but ever since he got that red card, he was never a good player. I remember last season, he was even scoring free kicks. He was just causing havoc. But then after the Champions League moment, then things just seem different for him. So hopefully, if or when he goes to Swallows, he does well and he can come back to Chiefs stronger. So yeah, let me know, guys, what you think of those things, and please do vote for Samge to be in the top 12 of Miss KZN Queen. It's free to vote if you're Facebook, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you on the next one, and until next time, remember, equals and pay no more.